Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another Monday Book Talk with me, AnnaLee Dragon. I am the director of the Kinderhook Memorial Library, and it's an unboxing week. We have new July books, so I'm very excited to share with you. Obviously, for those of you who have not seen these before, this is a trend that people do online where they unbox things that they purchased. And so I do that with library books because that's what I purchase. So I have a whole bunch of brand new books. I try to pick ones that maybe are a little less on the radar so that there aren't such long holds lists if you're interested in them, and also to give them some attention because they all deserve it. I don't buy bad books, so all of these are winners. It just depends on what you're looking for. And I've got kind of something for everybody. I've got some nonfiction, I have a bunch of fiction, I have some mystery, whether that's cozy or more procedural. So let's get started looking at some books. I'm gonna put the cover of the book up, and then I'm going to talk about it, and we'll do that for each book all the way through. And then at the end, I will put all the covers again so that you can see them and request them. They're all available at our library, but also in the system, so you can put holds on them. If you need help with that, give us a call or stop by, and we'll be happy to help. And let's get started with our new unboxing. Our first book is called The Pint of No Return. It is a Shake Shop mystery by Dana Mentink. And so this is for my cozy mystery fans. If you don't know what that genre is, cozy mysteries are murder mysteries, but they think Murder, She Wrote. They're crime solving, but there's not a lot of blood and guts and gore. There's none of that. It's very cozy and comfortable and cute, often involving desserts and or cats. Or quilting. There are a number of different kind of subgenres, but this one is obviously desserts as it has ice cream on the cover. But they're great mysteries if you're not looking for the police procedural kind of gory element, but you like a good mystery. So if you love Murder, She Wrote, this one the tagline is "A murder upends everything in one fell scoop." So there is a major character, Trinidad Jones, who after her divorce from her thrice married embezzler husband is ready for a fresh start. And then it's her story. And there is she finds a character head down in his giant popcorn kettle. So, and then this is this mystery that she's solving in this book, Pint of No Return. So if you haven't checked out a cozy mystery before, maybe try one out because there are a number of them. We have a bunch here and you might really enjoy it. A little thrill without all of the gore. Okay, so next book. So this one is a library themed mystery. It's called Silence in the Library by Catherine Shellman. She has written a number of these starring her character Lily Adler. So this is another Lily Adler mystery. And it is described on the cover as a perfect London crime novel, fast-paced, expertly researched, and intricately plotted. So again, I would argue this isn't quite maybe a cozy mystery, but it's also not a gory police procedural. So if you are looking for something along those lines, this might also be a good choice. Regency Widow Lily Adler didn't expect to find a corpse when visiting a family friend, and now it's up to her to discover the killer. So this is, if you're into setting, this is set in London, and there is some neat things there about just being set in a different place and a good mystery, especially in the home of Sherlock Holmes, right? So if you are looking for a different kind of cozy mystery, Silence in the Library or any of the other Lily Adler mysteries might be something you'd enjoy. What I like about a series like that is that while they can often be read as standalones, there's somewhere to go. If you really like this one, you don't have to go searching too far. There's a bunch of other Lily Adler mysteries, so you can just pick up the next one if you really enjoy this one. Okay, I've got a couple more mysteries for you, and then we'll change tone. So we're getting a little darker here now. We're going to go to Dream Girl by Laura Lippman, who wrote The Lady in the Lake, which won a bunch of awards and was just a really big hit when it came out. This is called a dark, complex tale of psychological horror from a masterful novelist, Laura Lippman. So the tagline is, "In the end, has anyone really led a blameless life?" I always love those kind of taglines. They draw you right in. You want to know what's going on. So it says, injured in a freak fall, novelist Jerry Anderson is confined to a hospital bed in his glamorous high-rise apartment, dependent on two women he barely knows, his incurious young assistant and a dull, slow-witted night nurse. Then late one night, the phone rings and the caller claims to be the real Aubrey, the alluring title character from Jerry's most successful novel, Dream Girl. but there is no real Aubrey. So I think this, it kind of reminds me, I think, in tone and theme of Misery, where there is a super fan obsessed with an author and maybe has a little problem with grasp on reality. This one's dark and it's fast paced and it's a thriller and a page turner. So if that's more your speed as opposed to the cozy mysteries, this one is getting great reviews. And again, an author who has other books. So if you really like this one and you didn't read The Lady in the Lake, that might be the next thing you pick up after this one. So Dream Girl by Laura Lippman. Okay, I've got one more mystery for you. As you saw there, the final mystery I wanted to talk about, again, a darker one, is called Lie Beside Me by, I don't know how to pronounce her first name, Geetha Lodge. She wrote another book called She Lies in Wait. This one, the tagline says, he's lying next to you, he's not your husband, and he's not breathing. That, again, grab you, right? This one reminds me in tone and in cover and all of that of like a Girl on the Train type of mystery. So dark, psychological thriller, some elements of horror, but mostly like a mystery thriller. It says that Detective Chief Inspector Jonah Sheens is on the trail of this explosive crime novel from the acclaimed author of She Lies in Wait and Watching from the Dark. Louise wakes up, her head aches, her mouth is dry, her memory is fuzzy, and she suspects she's done something bad. And I'm not going to read the whole thing because I want you to have some mystery left to it, but it does say, in this gripping novel, a young woman finds that trying to make sense of her life's bad choices might prove the most dangerous reckoning there is. I don't know who writes these things, but I want to be one of them. They do such a good job. It sucks you right in. So this got advanced praise from The Guardian and the Daily Mail, but again, not one that seems to have a ton of holds yet. So a little under the radar. So maybe you'll be the one that helps make it a super popular book. But it looked like we have a lot of patrons who like these kind of darker thrillers. And so when I saw it, it seemed like a natural fit for our collection. Lie Beside Me. So if you are into that, check this one out. Okay, I'm going to change tone a little with some more fiction. You just saw the cover of this one, The Startup Wife by Tamima Anam. It is being called fresh, funny, brave, savage, and smart. All things that I look for in a book that I'm reading, especially a great summer read. So this is called a gripping, witty, and razor-sharp novel, and this award-winning author takes on startup culture and modern love, which I really enjoy ones that have a really modern, fresh take on things, because being from a generation that it's just, I'm older in the younger generation, but it's still things that reflect our current culture, like startup culture. It's always interesting to me to see them written into books now because they aren't as new as they used to be, like me. It says brilliant coder Asha Ray has her future all mapped out, and then a chance meeting and whirlwind romance with her high school crush Cyrus changes everything. So if you're looking for, I'm trying to think of some other authors that I would suggest, but I've talked about some of these recently, a little lighter in tone, a little more romance, a little more fun, kind of chick lit, but maybe a little more content than that, especially if it's got savage, smart, razor sharp wit, more on point maybe than some of the other lighter reads. But this is getting great reviews and I'm super excited to read it. So I'm hoping that you will all share my viewpoint on this and check it out. And apparently she has some other books, which I have not read, but she is an award-winning author. So hopefully this will be something that will make us want to buy more of these books and get her to be a more common name. The Startup Wife by Tamima Anam. Okay, I've got one more fiction and then we'll switch to nonfiction. So our last fiction book, as you saw there, is called The Sweetness of Water by Nathan Harris. And this one takes place in the waning days of the Civil War. And it is a profound debut about the unlikely bond between two freedmen who are brothers and the Georgia farmer whose alliance will alter their lives and his forever. So this is more of a drama, less of a mystery, more of a drama. It says, in the waning days of the Civil War, brothers Prentice and Landry, freed by the Emancipation Proclamation, seek refuge on the homestead of George Walker and his wife Isabel. The Walkers, racked by the loss of their only son to the war, hire the brothers to work on the farm, hoping through an unexpected friendship to staunch their grief. Prentice and Landry, meanwhile, plan to save money for the journey north and a chance to reunite with their mother, who was sold away when they were boys. So there is also apparently parallel to that story, a forbidden romance between two Confederate soldiers. So there's a number of elements going on here that are topical and important, and I love a debut. I often think that that's where the author's heart goes into it so much because they spend so many years working on them, that I love a debut novel. And this got rave reviews from Richard Russo, who many of you love. He said that Nathan Harris does what all novelists are supposed to do: give birth to vivid characters, people worth caring about, and then get out of their way. So I think that that's wonderful. And it says, Richard Russo also said that with the sweetness of water, Harris has, in a sense, unwritten Gone with the Wind, detonating its phony romanticism, its unearned sympathies, and its wretched racism. So there has been a lot of talk about Gone with the Wind in recent years, and maybe our thinking how it's changed and what that represents. And so I think Richard Russo is saying that this might be a more modern answer to Gone with the Wind. So maybe that's a good reason to read it too, to see if you agree or not. But it did get some really glowing praise, and it's a debut novel, so I would love to help. I love helping a new author get a foothold. So if you haven't checked it out and you're looking for more of a drama, try The Sweetness of Water by Nathan Harris. Okay, I've got a couple nonfiction for you. So the first nonfiction book is by an author many of you are familiar with, Michael Pollan, who wrote How to Change Your Mind, and he wrote a number on food and eating. This one's called This Is Your Mind on Plants. And so it says that in this book, Michael Pollan dives deep into 3 plant drugs, opium, caffeine, and mescaline, and throws the fundamental strangeness and arbitrariness of our thinking about them into sharp relief. Exploring and participating in the cultures that have grown up around these drugs while consuming them, Pollan reckons with a powerful human attraction to psychoactive plants. Why do we go to such great lengths to seek these shifts in consciousness? And then why do we fence the universal desire with laws and customs and fraught feelings? So I think this is really interesting. So all 3 of the plants, he has like a section on opium, a section on caffeine, and a section on mescaline. I think it's really interesting to put caffeine in there because we all think that's so ubiquitously used by so many of our population, we tend to not think of it as a drug. It's sort of the way we treat alcohol. We don't act like it's a big deal, but then when you get into opium or mescaline or marijuana or other drugs, there is much more of a stigma and a social kind of feeling about those things and what they say about you if you do use them. So I think it's really interesting that he mixed caffeine in with 2 that are a little more make people a little more nervous, I guess, and they don't think of them in the same way as they do caffeine. Michael Pollan always has interesting things to say, and this seems like it's no exception, so I'm really looking forward to This Is Your Mind on Plants. Okay, 2 more books. We're going cookbooks here with Just a Few Miles South, Timeless Recipes from Our Favorite Places by Wita Michelle, Sarah Gibbs, and Jeannie Graff. And so Wita Michelle is a sustainable farm-to-table restaurateur, chef, and she has many acclaimed restaurants. And so this book collects recipes that her patrons have come to know and love, and including the Bluegrass Benedict breakfast sandwich, Wita's Sardu panini. There's a number of fabulous sounding things in here. There are just rave reviews for this, and she is a 6-time James Beard Foundation Award nominee, which that's pretty incredible. Those are huge honors. And she's regularly featured in the New York Times and Southern Living and Food Network and the Cooking Channel. So if you're looking for a new cookbook to try out this summer, maybe try Just a Few Miles South. It doesn't have a lot of pictures. There's some illustrations, but not a lot of pictures. But man, does it have fantastic recipes for all sorts of things. It's got a breakfast section, a sandwich section, po' boys, like there's just kind of everything you could want in here for delicious meals. So if you're looking for a new book, check out Just a Few Miles South. Okay, 1 more book for you before we're done for this week. So we're ending on a dark note with a book that's meant for fans of true crime. So if you are a true crime reader, and I know we have a number in the area, this one's for you. Louise Penny actually referred to this as one of the best books she's read this year, a tour de force of storytelling, both chilling and thrilling. So even if you're a fiction reader and you read Louise Penny a lot and you don't think of yourself as a nonfiction reader, maybe this book might change your mind. I always think there's some crossover, right? And you have a great fiction author who writes mysteries recommending a nonfiction book. Maybe this is the reason to check it out. It's called The Case of the Murderous Dr. Cream, The Hunt for a Victorian-Era Serial Killer by Dean Job, who has written some other books. It's called a macabre utterly suspenseful true crime thriller about a forgotten madman every bit as cunning and evil as Jack the Ripper. So that's sort of a big deal. And it says that he was in the 19th century. They say that the truth is stranger than fiction, which is often the case, I find. I don't know. I find these books really fascinating, the true crime books, especially period era serial killers, before that was a real social concept. So any of you who read The Devil in the White City, there was the story of the serial killer involved in that book. This seems like a similar sort of story. So if you were interested in that and really enjoyed that, you might really like this one. And it says, when a doctor does go wrong, he is the first of criminals. I don't know why that was so hard for me to say, which is a Sherlock Holmes quote. And it's just saying they have the knowledge to be really dangerous if they choose to turn down that. And he was brought to justice, but this is the story of his crimes and how they caught him. And it just looks like a fascinating true crime book. So if you liked In Cold Blood or that part of Devil in the White City or any of the other true crime kind of mega blockbuster books, or if you like fiction about these sorts of things, you might really enjoy a true crime book also. So definitely check out that. Don't get stuck in one genre or one type of book. There's too many great books out there to get stuck in one kind. So The Case of the Murderous Dr. Cream. I definitely am putting this on my to-read list. So that's all I have for this week. We've got lots more planned of these book talks. I love seeing you come in and ask for some of the books that I have been talking about. It makes me feel really excited. I love to talk about them, so catch me if you're in and we can chat about any of the books that you've read and give me some recommendations or ideas for future talks. I'm always looking for those too. So we hope we'll see you soon. Come on in and visit us at the library and borrow a book and join summer reading. We have great prize baskets up now, so come check them out. There's prizes for adults because the kids shouldn't get to have all the fun. So we will be back next week, and thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you have a wonderful week ahead. Bye, everyone.